in the last 2 years, I was able to read almost 50 books on self-help, finances, basically all these books that all the gurus recommend. And I was able to run my agency and go to school at the same time. And I read pretty much every single day. And so in this quick 13-minute video, I'm sharing my whole strategy, my why behind why reading and stuff like that. It's really good. It's all you need. So if you cannot watch this 13-minute video, that's maybe the reason why you cannot read more than 1 or 2 books. So just make it full screen, don't read any comments, don't watch videos in sidebar, and watch till the end.
So many people learned how to read at a very young age, but then they stop mainly because of school and have all this association with studying and stuff like that. So today I just want to quickly cover 5 quick things, and that's why, how, what, when, and where in terms of reading. So let's start with the question, why do bother? So I have 5 points that I believe that are just crucial in terms of reading. The biggest one for me is probably compound knowledge. I read almost 50 books at this point, which is still few, but I managed to do that in, I think, 2 years, which still can be better. But I have 50 more books than person that don't read any. Just simple math, obviously. But what ends up happening in your brain, obviously it doesn't look like this, but it's just to demonstrate, you will start connecting piece of information from other books, especially if you're, I don't know, if you're just studying and if you're not doing really anything else, let's say you don't starting your business or whatever, uh, you get knowledge that is really valuable, and then you may end up using it without even knowing that you do that, because in your brain you keep all these information from the books you read. Some of them are unconscious and a lot of them you obviously forget, but the main key points stick. So that's the biggest point. You start connecting the things together and you make better decision, more knowledgeable decision. So that's probably the biggest one for me. Also, it's awesome form of education. It's not really expensive, and it's also easy to access because through the internet and stuff like that, or even through audiobooks, you can do other stuff, but I'll go into that point in just a second. Also, you will become much more articulate in terms of speaking and explaining stuff, because books are written in a way where it took some time, someone don't just sit down and write it on one sitting. So it's made to be really condensed, I would say, with the knowledge that they trying to share. Some books not, some books are bad and they have a lot of unnecessary words, but you get my point. And second thing is, for me, it's focus and mental stimulation. So in terms of focus, if you learn to sit down or lay, I don't know how you read, if you even read, and read a book for like 3 hours or 2 hours, whatever, it's so beneficial for you than doing some work or studying and overall just focusing on certain topic, because books are incredible in doing that. Yeah, the main point with focus is that you can then focus apply in all other aspects of your life. So it's really beneficial and even crucial, I would say. And mental stimulation, if you're kind of fucked with social media games, stuff like that, it will probably be difficult to read for like even 5 minutes straight. I'm not even joking. Or focus, you will probably read the one page for like 10 times, so just be prepared for that. But if you start reading more and more and you cut all these bad behaviors or habits, I guarantee it will be something you want to do, something really stimulating. So that's another huge benefit, because you can change it for those bad habits, and it's really, I love it, to be honest. I like to read. So maybe just me, but I heard this from more people. And also, if you want to, depend on your goal, what are you trying to achieve? There are many tools you can use to build a second brain or note-taking system, whatever, and you can put this knowledge down. You can always reflect to it. So that's just a small point for you, what you can do. So let's now talk about how to read. So from my understanding, there are 4 main things. One is reading on your phone or iPad. Second is Kindle device or any uh, reader. I don't know how it's called. Everyone says Kindle, but you know what I'm talking about. Then you have audiobooks and obviously physical books. So I don't recommend anyone to buy just iPad for just sake of reading, but maybe you have an iPad and you don't know what to use it for if you don't play games on it anymore, whatever. It's actually great to use it for reading. You can download Kindle app and I don't know how they call it on Apple, but just this app for reading. Kindle also really great. You can buy all the books you want really. It doesn't hurt your eyes, so it's better in terms of this. It's a bit smaller also, so it depends on your preferences. Audiobooks, I don't personally listen to audiobooks, but they are great if you're really busy, if you're studying or if you're working a lot. Audiobooks, you can squeeze them in the day, you can do other stuff with it, you can drive with it, whatever. You will not focus so much on it, but you still, it's much better than not doing anything. And then you have physical books, and I would say there are two categories of people. One, they just buys one book, read it, buy another one, or have like 5 books. Then you have another people that has like 18 books, 8 are on the way from Amazon, they are scrolling through TikTok and like saving another books that those gurus approach. I would recommend you to just pick one book and read it and then start with another one, maximum of 2 books, I would say, but I would don't do that, just focus on one book. And then that also reminds me of 2 ways how people usually read. It's not Pomodoro technique, but so many people know how to imagine this technique where you read in like short periods or you listen to it, then you do some stuff, talk with someone, so you pause it, you listen to it again, so much cutting, or you just read on toilet, on bus, whatever, you read for like 15 minutes, then you go, then again, it's kind of chaotic. I don't really like this technique. I don't read like this. What I do is I sit down for an hour or two if I want to read and just read. That's what I do. I think it's much better in terms of focus, but I'll get into the why and the goal behind reading at the end of the video. I almost forgot. If you read for a long time and you read physical books, you can do it with other books, but with physical is probably the easiest, is that you can highlight the book itself, which I don't personally do, but some people like to do it. And you can take notes with some books, not with every book. That's another thing you might consider doing. Before we move on, I also want to say it doesn't really matter out of these 4 methods, what do you pick? It's much better to read anything than don't read at all and just like, yeah, I don't know if I should buy this iPad or this Kindle device or pay the Audible. Pick something, doesn't really matter, or you can go to library, borrow some books to read. Just start. It's much better than read something than nothing. It awesomely ties to another question, what to read. So what I like to do is ask myself these questions and I'll explain why. I have these 4 questions. There's many more questions you can ask yourself. The first one is there a problem I'm trying to solve but don't have the answer to? Is there something I want to be better at but don't know how to improve? Are there any questions I don't have the answers to? And what is my goal and what do I think is stopping me from achieving it? But what I like to do is ask myself these questions, or at least 1 or 2, and then based on that try to read the book that kind of solve the issue or answer my question or get me closer to that goal. So for example, I realized I was able to work for like 8, 9, 10 hours every day without problem, but I realized I was not focusing on the important stuff. So what I did, I just tried to explore priority. So I obviously check YouTube as well. I check some articles and it led me to book Essentialism. It's an awesome book. It's about focusing on what matters. So I read it, it helped me a lot. I try to apply it to my life. Then I moved to another book, another example from my life. I was trying to figure out how billionaires or how all these entrepreneurs became who they are. So what I did, I bought the famous biographies like Steve Jobs and Elon Musk, Sam Walton, all these guys, and just read it to kind of get more ideas how they started, what they did. It's great. It helped me set up expectations in a much better way. So it's much better to read something than nothing. 2 last questions: when to read and where to read. They are really similar. So I have just few points I want to share. When to read and where to read. You can read pretty much everywhere. But as I said, I don't really like to read in school or in bus or on toilet, whatever. I just personally don't do it because if I read just 10 pages at the same time, I'm unable to reflect back to it or even be conscious with that and just move my focus from one point to another really quickly. So if you have really hectic life, it's fine to read in train or on toilet, in school, whatever. It's much better than don't do anything, right? Small thing I wanna say, I would don't read in your bed where you sleep, because what end up happening is if you read on the same place where you sleep, 2 things might happen. First one is that you start falling asleep while reading, and second is when you go to bed to sleep, you will not be able to sleep. I don't know, you can just switch the sides read somewhere else, go to living room, whatever. I don't care, but I don't recommend this to anyone. It's a small thing, but it might help you with focus and just overall reading for a longer period of time. And I have just few key reading principles that I want to share, for most important things for me that helped me to read for 2 years almost every single day. And these key reading principles are: first one is numbers don't matter. What I mean with this is, don't chase the numbers of reading 10, 20, 30, 50 books per month, per year, whatever, I don't care. Pick some books that mean something to you, that are, even if they're long, you know, like biographies are incredibly long, but it's much better to read one book properly and extract the amount of it and have a book that actually relates to your situation than read 4 short books that doesn't resonate with you at all. Okay? Be consistent. That's a huge one. Don't try to, especially if you're not reading right now, you will probably not be able to read for longer than 10, 15, 20 minutes. I'm not even joking. So just start and do it every day for like 10-15 minutes. You can make some time for it. Best is probably somewhere where you are not super tired, so I don't do it after lunch because you may fall asleep. What I like to do is read in the evening. Doesn't matter if that works for you or not. Just try to find it. Just try to read. I don't care if you read at 4 a.m. or 8 p.m. Just try it, okay? Another thing is long term. I want you to think about this stuff in a more long term way, because there will be books that might don't resonate with you, or you just get 1-2 points. Okay, this is maybe wasting time, you know, I don't know how I will apply this, but in long term, as I said, the knowledge will compound and you can start connecting all these things together and applying the knowledge that you learned 2-3 years ago maybe. And last one is establish a goal. I don't mean with numbers. Basically establish the why. Understand why do you want to read, what does it mean to you. It will be much easier for you to justify to spend some time reading. And in terms of goal, I more mean something like, what am I trying to achieve with this book or in this month in terms of reading. I hope you like it. Just try to make a quick video about what I learned, and yeah, I hope you like it, hope you apply it. Let me know. Also, yeah, let me know what type of videos would you like from me. That's it. Have a nice one.